The unit, 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 the unit.
What's happening, everyone, buddy? Welcome back to the Unit Podcast, episode 29. I'm with 29. 29's in the building. I got bare kids, but I never had children, no. Do you get me? 29, yeah? But I do have children, and just one. And she keeps on robbing the plug, my USB plug, that plugs in the light off my sign, and the other lights are on my shelf and stuff like that. And I don't know where it is. So now there's no lights on. So yeah, there we go. It is what it is, and that's how it is. And if you don't know, now you know. Neighbour. How we all keeping? The weather is fucking unreal, isn't it? People should stop giving out about it, though. Because it rained for fucking, how many months? 4 or something? It was like Angela's ashes up in this bitch. So, be thankful for the bit of sun. Do you know what I mean? I know it's hard to deal with sometimes. It's hard to get through your work day and hard to sleep and everything else. But we don't fucking get it here, like. So, just enjoy it while it's there, if you can. Do you know what I mean? I'm enjoying the fucking shit out of it anyway. But that's neither here nor there. Sure it's not. I'm just having an old oaty fella. You know yourself, you know how I do. I was in a shop the other day, getting an oaty fella. And do you remember I told you that there's always like a nice bird in front of me, whatever, when I'm getting it and I have to wait for her to finish and feel like a fucking weirdo, whatever, right? So I was in a shop. There was a man, we'll say late 40s, I'm going to say, making a coffee. So I stood behind him, and when was this? This was on Thursday. So I stood behind him, and he turned around and saw me, and he goes, "There's another machine there, lad, next to me." And I was like, I looked at it, and I was like, oh, fuck it, that has oat milk in it as well. So I walked up to it, and I said, sorry, I said I was waiting for that machine, because I thought that was the only one with the oat milk. He goes, oat milk? Oh, I wouldn't drink that now at all. I was like, oh, do you drink cappuccinos? He was like, no, I just drink normal plain coffee. I was like, oh, all right, okay. I said, no, I said I was at the machine, I said, a couple of months ago, and I spotted the oat milk option. I just said I'd try it. I said, I don't know, like, what's healthier or what's better for you or what. Like, I just said I'd try something different, and I think it's way nicer. And he was like, no, I wouldn't drink anything like that. No, I just stick to the plain coffee. Just a man set in his ways, fair enough, right? So then he goes to me, do you know what I did do, though? So I was after telling him that I chanced the oat milk and I liked it and whatever. And he was like, do you know what I did do, though? I cut out sugar totally out of my coffee. So don't take sugar now anymore. I was like, all right, okay. And he was like, and I gave up the fags as well. I was like, oh, Jesus, fair play to you. And he was like, but you need to have something, like, do you know what I mean? I was like, ah, yeah, sure, look, a couple of cups of coffee here and there. It's better than smoking all the time and loads of sugar and blah, blah, blah. And he was like, yeah. And then he was like, I said, yeah, I don't know. I said, I like sweet coffee, do you know what I mean? And sweet tea and stuff like that. And he was like, yeah, what I did now, he said, I used to take a good bit of sugar. He said, I don't know. Did he say he used to take 2 or 3? I can't remember, but we'll just say he took 3. He said he just went down to 2, and then after a while he went down to 1, and then after a while he went down to half, and now he doesn't take any at all, right? I was like, all right, okay, yeah, whatever. So I took out 5 of the portions of sugar while he was telling me this, because those little things of sugar in the petrol station are small, like, do you know what I mean? So in my eyes, I don't know, I could be wrong, but in my opinion, 5 of those small sugars is equivalent to 2 spoons of sugar at home, no? Isn't that? Let me know, put it in the comments. But I got them, and I looked at him while he was telling me about his sugar cutting down story. I was there with 5 sugars, shaking them like this, so that I could get the sugar down so I could rip the top off, whatever. And he kind of looked, and I goes, don't judge me now. I said, 5 of these is probably the same as 2 at home. And he goes, yeah, look, he says, I used to take, what did he say? I used to drink 30 cups of coffee. He said I used to drink 30 cups of coffee a day, and I used to smoke 80 fags a day. 30 cups of coffee and 80 fags. Now, 30 cups of coffee with sugar, right? And 80 fags a day. Oh, yeah. And I forgot as well, when he was saying about everyone needs something or whatever, and I was like, ah, yeah, sure. If look, a few coffees here and there is not going to hurt anybody, blah blah blah. And he was like, oh, I'd like my few pints now as well, or whatever. I was like, all right, fair enough. You know, fucking a lot of people do, whatever. And then when I was putting in the sugar, he gave me a bit of a look, as if he was kind of judging how much sugar I was putting in. And that's kind of when I said it to him. Then I was like, oh, you know, this is the same as 2 or whatever. And he kind of gave me a look and kind of, it was like he almost shook his head and was going to say something and then chose not to. And he kind of walked away. And he took 2 or 3 steps and he turned back and looked at me and goes, yeah, look, I'm not going to get, I won't say anything, or I'm not going to get involved or something like that, right? So then he stayed where he was standing, turned to the side and picked up a 4-pack of fucking jam donuts out of the shop. And in the same breath as judging me for putting a bit of sugar in my coffee. 4 jam donuts. He was on his own, like. Now, I don't know, he could have been going home or whatever, but he was definitely going home having a jam donut, you know what I mean? So, like, how many spoons of sugar are in that, like? And he's there fucking judging me, and, like, I barely ever drink pints, you know what I mean? Never smoked fags, never smoked at all, never took a drug, and he's fucking there giving out to me in his head. He's probably home thinking about me right now. Bitch, that fucking fellas are home there drinking coffee with a big lot of sugar inside. That wouldn't be me anyway. And his lungs hanging out from smoking 80 fags a day for however many years, you know what I mean? So, don't at me, sir. Don't fucking at me, will you? Do me a favour, sir. Don't be at me at all. Alright? Sir, if that is your real name. But, what else was I going to say? I was going to say something now coming off the back of that. Oh, yeah. Those people who, the amount of people that you'd see, like I don't have a great diet, right? But when I say that, this week, I've been very, very well behaved. For me. Now, I haven't been very well behaved in the eyes of a dietitian, but in the eyes of the fella the units, I've been very well behaved, right? Because when I'm going around the place, whatever I'm doing, yeah, I have to have something. I have to have a fizzy drink, a sweet drink, or fucking a cup of coffee, or a cup of tea, or fucking, what button do I press here now again? 1 sec. There we go. So, I have to always have, oh man, I'm just after realising I have a half a bag of toffee popcorn in my car since last week. Oh, I want to stop thinking about that now. I have it in there since last Saturday. Had it for my breakfast. Right, but from Monday onwards, I said, I'm changing my life around now. I'm not doing this shit anymore of just eating every time I see food, or getting a drink or a bar of chocolate or something every time I see a shop, right? So now I've still had few fizzy drinks, mostly zeros. I actually think I had all zeros. I don't think I had anything like Lucas said or anything like that, because I don't like Lucas at Zero for some reason. But I do drink the sugar-free Red Bull. I have one down there for proof if you don't believe me. But, and then Coke Zero and stuff like that. I know it's not the best thing in the world and there's fucking whatever shit in it, but look, for me, it's good, right? So I've been just kind of limiting myself, like and I'll have something to eat. Like, I won't have something to eat straight away. After a couple of hours, I'll get something handy. I might get a little wrap or something like that. But just like, you know, like the little pre-made ones out of Tesco and stuff, and then I'll hold them up against me and rip my t-shirt. Not them ones. So people on my social media will get that. Lads, if you're not following my social media, go and give it a follow, because I'm after buying a pair of Meta glasses, right? And I think it's going to take my content up a notch, because I put up 2 videos now yesterday and they got a good reaction. So yeah, give it a look. But I'll go back to what I was saying, right? So yeah, so I haven't been eating too late. I haven't been getting takeaways. I've been just kind of having small things at home. Now, not the most healthiest things, but like smaller portions and less frequently. And I'm trying to make sure that I don't eat too late either, right? Now, yesterday was, whatever fucking day it was, I got Abra. And then I tried those fucking disgusting Pringle chicken things, which is one of the videos on my social media that you need to go have a look at, right? Yesterday was like my kind of breakout day. But now, again today, I'm going to behave myself to an extent, and then maybe next week I'll try and incorporate a little bit of healthier stuff, and eventually I might be able to even get back to the gym, because I'm still paying the fucking thing and I still haven't went. But I was thinking of it now. I was like, will I go down to the pool? Will I go down to the sauna and the steam room and all and just fucking relax and whatever? And then, like, I was kind of thinking that over the space of a couple of days. But then I got an email and a notification on my gym app saying that the pool was under maintenance or something like that. And in my head then I was like, oh, well, sure, I can't go now. What am I supposed to do? Pool's under maintenance, know what I mean? Meet people on the street. Well, man, how are you? Good, know yourself? Yeah, not too bad. Oh, yeah, no, I haven't been the same now since the pool went under maintenance. And they're like, what? And then I'm just trying to explain, fucking can't go to the gym, sure. Pool's under maintenance, know what I mean? I'm trying to make out like that they're the reason that I can't go, but really that me being a fat prick is the reason that I can't go. Man, I was on TikTok Live the other day, right? I had a bit of time to kill. I was on TikTok Live, and was I just after buying the Meta glasses? I can't remember. I think it might have been just after buying the Meta glasses. So I was on Live, and I was just chatting away, and 3 people came into my TikTok comments slagging me. And like, I don't care about people slagging me because I slag myself. I'm my own worst critic. And I know my flaws, and I point out my flaws, and whatever it is, what it is. Like, I'm like Eminem in 8 Mile. When I just slag myself so that the other person's thing doesn't fucking affect me, you know what I mean? But like, yeah, I am a fucking bum. I do live in a trailer with my mom. I do have a friend called Cheddar Bob that shoots himself in the leg with his own gun, or whatever the fuck, do you get me? And then they're like, bollocks, I was just about to slag him about Cheddar Bob shooting himself in the leg with his own gun, or whatever, do you know what I mean? So someone commented going, you look pregnant, lad. And I wrote back, that's just my fat belly. And then someone else said, no, I didn't write back, I said that. I said, that's just my fat belly. And then 2 other people, someone else goes out, that accent is atrocious or something like that. And I said, where's your accent from, bud? And he didn't answer, so I just blocked the 3 of them. Don't give a fuck. So some people leave them in their comments, but I just don't want to be looking at them. They're not affecting me in any way. But I just don't want to be looking at negativity. If anyone sends me anything negative, I just block them. I just don't give a fuck. Do you know what I mean? And people are it's the same with Snapchat. I know people say, oh, Snapchat. I said this in my earlier episodes that people saying, oh, Snapchat is for kids and Snapchat is this and Snapchat is that. Boys, TikTok is for kids. Do you know what I mean? TikTok started off as Musical.ly and it was for children. And then it changed to TikTok and it was still for children. Then all the adults started going on it and now it's for adults doing adult things for adults and children are still on it doing children things for children. But that just goes to show that Snapchat can be the same, right? So I'm not going to turn around and go, oh, sure, I'm too old for Snapchat. And I've got that so much recently. And not even so much, but I heard it once or twice. Like, oh, I don't use Snapchat. I'm too old for Snapchat and all. And I'm thinking, like, what? And there's even somebody that I know going back a couple of years ago, right? She's the same age as me. And there was some conversation about something. And she goes, oh, at my age? And I'm like, what are you on about at your age? You're the same age as me. And why are you limiting anything by your fucking age? Who gives a bollocks? Like, do you know what I mean? Why single yourself out of things just because of your age? Like, who gives a fuck about what age you are? As long as you're enjoying yourself or whatever. Do you know, I know it's not about fucking enjoying yourself, but don't fucking limit yourself and go like, oh, sure, I can't do that because of my age or whatever. And you're like, what? And you're gonna be under this mindset then where anything that you try to do, oh, sure, I can't. I couldn't wear that. The age of me, I couldn't wear that. How could I wear a colour? Like, you can fucking wear it and do whatever the fuck you want. Do you know what I mean? And don't be limiting yourself on something that you would possibly enjoy doing or possibly like to wear or, do you know, anything at all. Just because, like, oh, sure, I'm this age, I can't. Fuck off, like. Just do whatever the fuck makes you comfortable or whatever you want to do. And try the things. Like, try the things that you think you're too old for. And then come back and go, actually, no, I'm not too old for that. And, like, Snapchat is just an example of that, right? And the thing that people don't realise about Snapchat is the hardest app for anybody to contact you on that you don't want to contact you. Because you have to accept them, right? I have a public profile on Snapchat, right? I've 25,000 followers, I think, on Snapchat. And unless you add those people back, you can't see what they're after sending you. And they can see my stuff because my thing's public. But if you have a private account and somebody tries to send you something that you haven't accepted as a friend, you can't see it. And they can't see your stuff. It's the most private app that there is in terms of, I don't know. I was going to say in terms of privacy, but it's the most private app that you can have in terms of like unwanted contact or fucking, you know, people from the outside scene. If you have 5 Snapchat friends, right, that's very low, obviously. If you're a loser, no, I'm slagging, right? So, a loser, I don't even use the word loser then. So if you're a muppet, right, and you've only 5 Snapchat friends, right, and you put up a story, only those 5 people can see your story. So if you're a sad bastard and you only have 5, I'm only slagging, right? I was just gonna keep doing different insults. I'm after knocking the fucking empty coffee cup, but bollocks. Anyway, I was gonna do different insults and keep saying like, if you're a fucking prick and you only have 5, but I won't keep doing it because yeah, I won't bother. But yeah, so what I was saying, the reason that I said about me eating a little bit better and stuff like that, yeah? A little bit. Don't fucking at me. So, I was thinking about the people who, so I was on about your man judging me over putting sugar in my coffee when he was fucking eating 17 donuts and drinking a lot of pints, right? So, it got me thinking then about the people that are like, oh, you eating that full pizza to yourself now, you fucking eating that full pizza to yourself, oh Jesus. And then 2 days later, and they're fucking snorting and they're up for 3 days with no food. Like, what's worse? Do you know what I mean? What's worse, me having a pizza or you going out fucking snorting a lot of fucking grams of thing? Do you know what I mean? I'd much rather my pizza anyway, thanks very much. Thank you very, very fucking much. Do you know what I mean? 1 second now. I'm going to ask this Bure here on the phone, right? I'm going to ask her a quick question. Because I know you like her input into the podcast. Well, how are things? How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you doing this morning?
Who are you?
Your AI assistant, here to help with whatever you need.
And why aren't you a girl?
I don't have a gender unless you want me to.
Why do you talk like a man? You sound like you have an Adam's apple, man.
That's just the voice style that's currently selected. You can actually switch me to a female voice.
Nah,
if
do you know
you
what,
prefer.
buddy? You know what, buddy? I like you.
Fair enough. Staying as is. So, what's on your mind today?
Man, you sound so fucking chill. Are you chill?
I try to keep it easy going. Makes things more comfortable.
What?
What's
Like,
up?
stop, he says.
Okay, I'll take that as a compliment. What's making you laugh?
The fact that you said sup and you have a fucking charger.
Got me. That's fair. Keep going.
Famous coughing and everything, but come here and tell you, right? So I have another AI assistant, right? And she has a female voice. She sounds like she has ovaries, right? She doesn't have an Adam's apple. Okay. But I have her nicknamed Dirty Gomi, right? Because I'm actually the host of the Unit podcast, and she's a weekly feature on my podcast, and she's called Dirty Gomi. That's her nickname. What nickname do you think I should give you?
If you're going with that vibe, I guess maybe something like chill spruce or sprucey D, but only if that amuses you.
Sprucey D. Um, chill
Yeah.
spruce or sprucey D. Uh, sprucey D. Let's go with sprucey D. Will you remember that?
Okay, sprucey D.
No, you're sprucey D.
Ah, sprucey D. Reporting for duty.
Okay, my name is Walshunit.
Got it. Walshunit.
Have you heard of me before? Hello? Are you shy?
No, I'm here. You were starting the question.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Have you heard of Walsh Unit before?
Hmm. Checking. I don't recognize Walshunit as a widely known name. Tell me more. Is that your podcast?
That
Or your channel? Or.
why do you sound like you're getting smart?
Just trying to understand you. Go on.
Cheeky company. But do you ever see like the Limerick Peppa Pig voiceovers, or did you ever see that video where I pick up the big thing of shower gel and I say like, look at the size of that fucking thing, big 35 a man, face, hair, body, back, all that kind of thing. And then there's the other one where I fucking see the mannequin dressed up as a guard with a speed gun, and I said, no, that's the scariest Halloween decoration I've ever seen. Did you ever see any of them videos, nah?
Let me check. No, I don't actually see specific videos unless they're described to me. But from what you're saying, it sounds like observational humor with that limerick twist. Pretty cool if they're yours. Are those clips from your Walsh Unit podcast or TikToks or something else?
TikTok and Instagram and stuff like that. My podcast is called The Unit Podcast, and my online name is Walsh Unit, and I'm the host of The Unit Podcast.
Thanks for clarifying.
Okay. So what I wanted to ask you was, is it healthier to eat unhealthy food and takeaways for a week? Is that healthier, or is it healthier to eat good through the week and then stay up for 3 full days snorting cocaine? Which is healthier?
Checking. Between those two options, eating unhealthy food for a week is far less dangerous than staying awake for 3 days while using cocaine. The cocaine scenario carries serious risks. Are you asking for a hypothetical or something you're considering?
No, I'm not considering staying up for 3 days taking cocaine. I've actually never taken a drug in my life, and I grew up in South Hill. Like, I saw all the drugs, but I never took any of them. So I'm so proud of myself, right? But I do, however, eat shit all the time and bad food and stuff. But I wouldn't take a drug to save my life. I wouldn't even smoke a fag. So I was just asking because you're on my podcast now.
Right. Thanks for clarifying. And good to hear. Sticking with balanced, sustainable habits is the safer path.
Okay. I'll talk to you in a while. So, all right.
Sounds good.
He's weird, isn't he, boys and girls? So yeah, there you go. You heard it from the fucking horse's mouth. It's healthier to eat shit all week than stay up for 3 days taking coke. So, no, there you go. You heard it here first. People probably didn't realise that, but now you realise that. So, there you go. Speaking of eating shit, right? Did you see Popeyes came to Ireland? I don't know how many locations opened up, but I know there is more than one. So I've been seeing a sign on the motorway, right? The last couple of weeks I saw it, and it was like Popeyes coming soon to Junction 14. That's what I saw on the sign. Popeyes coming soon to Junction 14. Popeyes coming soon to Junction 14. That's what I kept seeing on the sign, right? In my brain, that's what the sign said. So, last week, I was going up the motorway and I saw the sign again. And instead it said, Popeyes now open. So I thought, oh, Popeyes is open at Junction 14? If anyone doesn't know, Popeyes is an American chicken fucking takeaway thing, whatever. So like a KFC kind of a Popeye kind of a thingy-majigger, right? So in my head it was like, oh, Popeyes is open, Junction 14. And that was early enough in the day, so I thought, forget about it. And maybe I might have a look in a while. We'll see. Might have a look in a while. We'll see, right? So I went up anyway, did whatever I had to do. And then later on, when I was coming back down the road, I thought, do you know what? I'm going to go in for a look. Even if I just get something small, like a chicken burger or chicken breast burger, sandwich burger, meal, breast, chicken, or something. Do you know, just to taste it, just to see what their chicken tastes like and see have they got like a big load of herbs and spices like fucking KFC do, right? So I was coming down the road and I was contemplating. I was like, will I go in there? Will I not go in there? Will I go in there? Will I not go in there? And because of who I am as a person, I was like, yeah, of course I'm going to go in there. All right. So I was driving down along the road. Next thing I spotted a fella that I know towing a caravan. He was coming back from a festival that he was at, right? So give him a big salute anyway. Grand. Went down and I went into Junction 14. Right? I went in and used the toilet and came back out. And when I came back out, he was after pulling into Junction 14 and he was standing in the queue for Supermax. So I says, is Popeyes not here, no? He was like, no, it's at Junction 17, no? I was like, what? I said, I pulled in here specifically because I thought Popeyes was open in here. Junction 14, no? He was like, no. I saw it. He said when I was going to the festival and said Junction 17. I was like, I could have... Nah. So I walked around the whole of fucking Junction 14. I even walked out by the car park and had a look around in case they built like a kind of a standalone thing. Because I think they have like a standalone barbers outside there. Is that there or is it at one of the other junctions or whatever? But I thought maybe they're after building a full new building for this, right? Looked around, no sign of it. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, oh, it must be 17 so that was grand. And sorry, yeah, no, I'm after jumping ahead. So when I was talking to him and he was at Supermax and we found out the Popeyes wasn't there, I did all that checking around when I was leaving to see was there a standalone building or whatever, because I was still kind of skeptical or whatever, right? So when he was getting Supermax, I says, yeah, I'm not going to get Supermax. I'm going to go down and get something down here altogether. So I went down and looked at like the dinners, you know, like the carvery kind of thing. And I was like, fuck it, I get something here. And I was just looking at it then and I was thinking, that's not Popeyes though. But that's not Popeyes. Why would you get that roast beef and chicken and chicken? Why would you get that roast beef and gravy and veg and fucking mash and chips and that's not chicken or that's not Popeyes? So I just immediately turned around and I said to him, I goes, yeah, I'm going to Junction 17 anyway, I'm not getting anything here. And he was like, let me know how you get on. Let me know what it's like. I said, grand. Then I went outside. Then I had a look around for the standalone buildings, as I was saying. And I started driving again down towards Junction 17. So I saw the sign for Junction 17 and I looked up and I was driving on the motorway and I looked over to the right over the trees and I could see like a tower thing with like apple green written at the top of it. So I thought, there we go. That must be where it is. So I got off I went off the slip road, round the roundabout, headed over towards Junction 17 fucking shop thing. It's not a plaza, sure, it's not. Pulled up, parked, walked inside, had a look around. No sign of Popeyes. And I thought, that sign definitely said Popeyes is open, didn't it? And your man that I met, that I know, also told me that he saw a sign saying that it's open, and he actually saw it that it was in Junction 17. So it must be here. How is it not here? Walked around the whole place, had a look around, no sign of it. Walked outside, looked around the car park for a standalone building thing, no sign of it. It's like, what the fuck is going on here? So I thought, okay, I'm not just going to stop at every fucking place now trying to figure out what's going on and where the fuck Popeyes is. If it's, and I was like, maybe they hardly just pulled out. No, they couldn't have, because they're after saying no open. So I said, fuck it. I walked up to the counter and I ordered a dinner box, 3 pieces of chicken and chips and a portion of burger sauce, right? So that was grand. I waited for that, sat down, and I was thinking, for fuck's sake, anyway, I really wanted to try Popeyes, and I'm not going to be able to stop thinking about this and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, sure, look, I just settled for Supermax anyway. That'll do me. Because I think the chicken in Supermax. Oh, God. Did I ever yawn on this podcast before? I might call the podcast the episode where I yawned. But I was like, yeah, look, I'll settle for Supermax because I love it. And what I was saying is, their chicken, if you get it fresh enough, is some of the nicest chicken I think that you can get in Ireland, in like, do you know, in a place like that. Whatever about like dinners and stuff, do you know, I know it's different, but in a takeaway, I think fresh Supermax chicken is some of the nicest chicken that you can get. It just fucking is so juicy and fucking. I'd actually eat some of it. No, I would. But that was grand. Waited for my food. Man brought over my food. Put it down. Thanks very much. Started eating my food. Perfect. Few minutes later, someone else who works there walked past me, holding a hot muffin with ice cream. Right? So I thought, oh, might get one of them. He continued walking past me. Then he turned around, walked over towards me with it, and I thought, shit, I'm after looking at him in such a way to say, like, that it's mine, but it's not mine. So I could see him coming for me. And I was like, shit, he thinks this is mine. It's not mine. But then again, like, I wasn't panicking or anything like that, because I could have just said, not mine. And he would have just turned around, you know what I mean? He walked over and goes, hey, man, we have this spare if you want it. I was like, yeah? He was like, yeah, it was a mistake. It's a spare. Do you want it? I was like, yeah, all right, thank you. And he put it down in front of me. So I was looking at it, I was thinking, spare? Ice cream? And a hot muffin? And then I was looking at it, I was like, it's perfect. It's in the perfect shape. It's not melted. So it can't have been sitting there for even 5 minutes. It must have been made under a minute ago. So there can't be anything wrong with it. Do you know, like if it was something now, like if he said, oh, this burger is spare, it could have been there since fucking April or whatever, do you get me? But this was a hot muffin with ice cream, so that was obviously just made, and someone goes, no, not that. And then he was like, so he just looked for someone to give it to. And he must have seen my eyes lighting up when I saw it or something anyway, and he came over and gave it to me. So I was sitting down, I was like, this is nice. Now a little treat for me. A little fucking, a little kind of a thank you from the universe for failing. Not a fucking thank you. What am I talking about? Like a little kind of a bonus from the universe, because I was trying to find Popeyes so I could have Popeyes. I couldn't find it. So then the universe was like, some old ice cream there. Yeah. Some old ice cream there. I'm on ice cream there. I said, right, get that into the oven flow when you happen to ball with you. Know what I mean? And like, that's just like, who's that? Like, why? Who? What's that? Like, is that fucking divine intervention? No, what's that mean? I don't know what that means. But isn't that mad? Like, I was just traveling around. I was going around trying to find fucking Popeyes. I couldn't find it. Settled for Supermax. And then I got gifted with a hot muffin with ice cream. Fucking class, isn't it? And it was beautiful. No, it was fucking half melted. No, the thing was looking, resting in peace by the time I got to it. But it was unreal. It was decent. And while I was eating, I was thinking, this is fucking class. I didn't even ask for this. Didn't pay for it. Didn't do anything. And your man just came over and gifted me with it. So thanks very much. Hashtag gifted. Clock it. Yeah, if I made a TikTok now about that, right? I was like, well, lads, I'm here at Supermax and this fella's after throwing me out a fucking free hot muffin with ice cream. What I have to do is sponsor that and that. Or would I have to say, like, hashtag gifted? Or, thanks to the lads at Supermax for throwing me out a free fucking York. Would I do that? Or would the fucking, the watchdog or whatever get onto me? Is that what he's called? The watchdog? Would the watchdog bite me if I got a free hot muffin with ice cream after that fella and didn't declare it, picture I rang, oh my God, I might ring revenue. And I'd be like, well, how are you, revenue? This is me. And they'd be like, well, and I'd be like, come here, I just want to declare something there for to see does it affect my taxes. And they'd be like, what is it? And I'd be like, come here, I was in fucking Junction 14. And then Alec told me that Popeyes wasn't in Junction 14 at all. So then I went down to Junction 17 and Popeyes wasn't there either. And then someone came over and gifted me a free hot muffin with ice cream. Can I just declare that there, please? And they'd be like, what? But it'd be a good phone call, wouldn't it? A good prank phone call. Like, it wouldn't even be a prank. It'd be just a silly phone call, but it'd be good, wouldn't it? Imagine how confused they'd be. And imagine if I went back onto, why do I keep yawning? Oh, God. Oh, righty then. Imagine if I went on then, do you know the way you can go on and check your thing and see if you're owed any tax or whatever at the end of the year? Imagine if the hot muffin with ice cream was on it. That'd be good, wouldn't it? Might do that. Let me know. Put it in the comments. But so the weekend gone. What did I mention about the weekend gone by? I mentioned something about the Saturday. I went out. Went for a drink. A few drinks. Right? So I said at the start of the year when I started this podcast that I want to dip my toe. Which toe? I'm looking at it now, you can't see him on the camera. My left toe, right? Because the right toe, I had an ingrown toenail on it, on the big toe, and now it's like a forward slash. It's at a big angle. I have a pure italic toenail on that side, right? So I'm not going to dip that toe in because people don't like the look of it. But I'm going to dip my left big toe into the pool of stand-up comedy at some point of the year, right? So I decided to have a look around and see what's out there comedy-wise. And what I came across was the Mic Drop Comedy Club, which is in the Commercial. And I think they do it every month. I think they do it once a month or something like that. But they're taking a bit of time off now and not doing it for a while because the Edinburgh Comedy Festival is on and a lot of the comedians will be going over there. It's a massive thing with comedians. So said it to one of the lads. I said, I wouldn't mind going to this comedy thing. Would you go? He said, yeah. He got onto another one of the lads and the two of us decided we'll go. So went on and I couldn't find any links for tickets or anything like that. The only thing I could see on their Facebook page was a €10 entry or something like that. It said. I was like, oh yeah, that's grand. So, and I was like, the fact that there's no link or anything like that linked to it, you must just turn up at the door and that's fine. So if you're ever curious about going there and you can't find how to get tickets or anything like that, you actually have to go on to is it Eventbrite? Do you know that thing? But you do have to get tickets for it, which we didn't realise. So the three of us walked to the door just on time, like a few minutes beforehand, so we could get a drink before we watched the comedy. And then your mum was like, oh, we're actually sold out. I was like, what? I said, but we went onto the Facebook and there was no link or anything like that to buy tickets. I thought you just turn up at the door. And then another person was like, no, look, you go on to Eventbrite and you get them here and blah, blah, and showed us how to do it. I was like, right. I said, oh, fuck, okay. And then she said, look, come back in a bit and if people don't turn up or if we get cancellations or whatever, then we'll be able to let you in. We were like, yeah, look, fair enough. It was a misunderstanding on our part, I suppose, and we went away and got a drink elsewhere. So we went and got 1 pint down around the corner and kind of chilled out there for a little while, killed a bit of time. Then we came back up and I walked back down to the door to your one and two boys stayed at the top of the stairs. And I said, look, we're here. I said, if you need us, just call me. And I said, we'll come down if there's going to be free seats or whatever. No, not free, spare seats, and we'll buy tickets or we'll pay in or whatever. So she was like, yep, no bother at all, that's grand. So a little bit, we got another drink in there anyway, and we were just standing there chatting, whatever. And then a little while later, she walked up the stairs and she was kind of looking around. And now we were the first people at the top of the stairs, so I thought, she's not looking for me because I'm right here, like, you know? And she had seen me twice already, and I told her I'd be at the top of the stairs and whatever, so I thought, no, she's not looking for me or whatever. But me being me, just wanting to fucking take the piss or whatever. I goes, you looking for me? And she looked and goes, oh, yeah, I am actually. I was like, what? She was like, yeah, yeah, yeah. She was like, look, we're going to release 3 more tickets onto, is it Eventbrite or whatever the fuck? We're going to release 3 more tickets in a few minutes and you'll be able to buy them. I'll let you know when and you can go on and buy the 3 tickets. I was like, yeah, absolutely perfect. That's grand. A few minutes later, sure enough, went onto the website, boom, 3 tickets available, got the 3 tickets. Grand. Went downstairs and we'll say like a compere opened up the show and introduced the guests and did his own little bits of comedy in between. And there was about 6 or 7 comedians on, I think, and it was good. No, like there was some stuff that wasn't for me. There was some stuff that was funny, but there was one young fella, and I can't remember his fucking name. There was one young fella, and he was very good, and that just made it totally worth it because we had that one very good young fella. Like I know, as I said, like there was good jokes and there was good stuff from the other people as well, but this one fella I thought stole the show, and it was well worth to see him, and it was a good it was just kind of good to see how it's worked and how it's structured and stuff like that. And now I have a little bit of a better understanding as to how that place works. Now I don't know how you actually get in there or how you sign up or how you do anything towards being on that stage, but you know, it just kind of gave me a taste for what comedy is like in Limerick and how it's structured and stuff like that, which is good. So I'm going to continue to have a look around and see what's out there and see what stages are available and see what companies or who's running them or whatever the fuck is going on, and maybe try and figure something out for myself. For like, we're only halfway through the year, so I still have, you know, nearly 6 months to figure out something and get on stage and achieve that goal that I said I'd do at the start of the year. That was one of the things. So after that we went, we said we'd go for a few drinks just after it, whatever, because after already having a few drinks there. So we went to, where did we go? The Old Quarter. It was fucking very good. There was a band on the Old Quarter. They were brilliant. Anyone on my Snapchat would have probably seen them. And then there was a hen there that had a blow-up doll, and I took a dance off the blow-up doll and everything, and it had her fiance's face sellotaped onto the front of it. We got a good laugh at that. Grand. Then we went from there up to 1314, and that's my first time ever being in 1314, which is mental. I didn't even know what it looked like in there. I've never even seen this on anybody's stories, but it was a fucking good crack. And I was thinking, geez, the tunes are good in here. And next thing, I was there for about, I feel like I was there for about 45 minutes or an hour, and I was up by the DJ booth, and I was talking to somebody. And next thing I got a tap in the shoulder and I looked behind me and it was the fucking DJ, and it turned out, alright, it's fucking Owen Fitz off Spin South West. And he was like, well man, I was like, oh for fuck's sake, how long you up there? And he was like, I'm here all night. So Jesus, I didn't even spot you, I said. So he was up there and I didn't know it was him. I'd know him, I'd chat away to him now and then, whatever. So one of the lads that was there with me, I heard him mentioning the name of a song to the other fella that was with me. And I looked and I goes, are you guessing the next song by the intro? He goes, yeah. I said, man, I love doing that. That's my favourite thing to do. Like, if I'm in a nightclub mostly, because you'll be, you know, kind of a bit more merry and a bit more, like, silly or so. I don't know what the fuck, right? But I said, that's my favourite thing to do. I love when you hear, like, 1 or 2 words that are getting mixed into the song when it's changing over, or you hear the beat of the next song kicking in or whatever, and then you call the person that's next to you and go, oh, fucking Outcast, hey, yeah, or something, and they're like, what? Next thing go, hey, yeah, and they're like, see, I knew it, and the other person's looking going, what? How did you know? That, I love doing that. I don't know what it is. I just love it because I'm mad into music, which it doesn't sound like because all I listen to is podcasts, but I really love music. I love all fucking music, no matter what the genre. And I don't love all songs. I love all music. And that type of thing is very kind of fun and interesting for me to do. So when he did that, I was like, right, so I guessed 1 or 2 songs. And he was kind of looking at me. Next thing the song will kick in. And I was like, yeah, I'm after getting it, whatever, right? So we're halfway through a song that was on. And I looked up at the DJ booth and I saw Owen Fitz on his phone. So I texted him on Snapchat and I said, better off alone. That's all I said, right? So the message sent and I saw his little face popping up. His little face, as if he's a child. I saw his little Bitmoji face popping up at the bottom of the screen. And I looked up at him in real life, like, and he looked down at me and he winked as if to say, yeah, better off alone is going to come on next, right? So we were only halfway through the song and I nudged the man that I was with and I was like, better off alone. And he was like, what? I was like, better off alone. And he kind of looked and paused for a minute. And I'd say in his mind he thought, the song isn't even changing yet, whatever. Next thing, about a minute and a half later, better off alone came on. I looked at him and I goes, see, I told you. And he was looking at me thinking, how the fuck did you know that? Like, but then I just turned around and showed him my phone. And showed him that I was after requesting the song. But anyway, stupid. So then we left there, spoke to some fans on the street. No, we left there and we went down as far as House? Yeah, we went down to House because it closed at 1:30. And we said we'd go down and go down there for a while for another drink or whatever. No, actually, I stopped drinking. I don't even think I got a drink in 13, 14 because I can just get to a level. I'll get a bit steamed up or whatever and get merry and fucking chatty and whatever and silly, and then I'll just stop drinking. I don't need any more drink. So I've very good control over that, and I'm happy. No, obviously I fucking don't always keep control because the last night I went out, I was like, fucking / walking up the road, hanging on to poles and stuff, thinking people don't know what I don't know what I'm doing, but I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm leaning up against the pole, and then I had to get a taxi home. But yeah, I had stopped drinking in. I don't think I even got a drink in 13, 14. I think the last one I had was down the old quarter. Walked down to House. It was too late. They were closing. Blah blah blah. Grand. So we said, fuck it. We'll go back up to another one up around the corner. Can't remember what it's called. 101. Is it 101? I don't know. Never in there. And same thing. Bouncer said, no, sorry lads, too late. Whatever. Grand. So we left there and we said, fuck it. We'll go up and get food. So we went up and got Chicken Hut. And yeah, so the three of us got Chicken Hut. And we went back to one of the lads' houses to wait up to watch the UFC. Because obviously Conor McGregor was back and Paddy Pimblett was fighting as well. And I like Paddy. Paddy wouldn't be everyone's cup of tea, but I think Paddy the Baddy is a great crack, and I think he's entertaining to watch fighting as well. Now, I am only a bandwagon supporter. I don't know a hell of a lot about fighting or the UFC or anything like that. But if there's a big fight on like that, I'll attempt to watch it. So that was our plan. We were going to go to the comedy, go for a few drinks, stay up then and watch the UFC. And fucking Paddy, the Baddy, lads. If you didn't see the way that he finished his opponent, what's his name? Fucking Chris Benoit? No, his first name is Benoit Saint. And then it looks like Davis or something like that. But I think it's like Benoit Saint Devoir or something like that. But the way that he finished him, man, just fucking wrapped him up and just started getting a game of choking off him, do you know what I mean? And then he said, fucking like a spider. Fucking spider lad. I'd love to be able to do accents, but I can't do Liverpudlian. But yeah, that's what he says. Scousers don't get knocked out like a fucking spider. He was like a necklace on your man by fucking choked the back axle off him. So that was fucking class, I thought. It was a serious finish and serious fight. Very, very short, but unreal. And then McGregor came out and just started bouncing off the ground. Now, fucking, I know the whole McGregor thing is controversial. You love him, you hate him. I'll take him or leave him, whatever. I think he's entertaining, and whatever fucking happened, and whatever didn't happen. I don't know. Staying out of that side of it, nothing got to do with me. I just thought it would be interesting to watch the fight, so I wanted to watch the fight. And then, that should happen. So I said it now. One of the lads reckons, our stooge that was on the fucking St. Patrick's Day episode with me, he reckons their injectors was garnered. No, he reckons that I turned around to him and goes, man, he's drunk. 100% he's drunk. He keeps on falling down. I didn't say that. That's the way he remembers it. But the way that I remember it was, McGregor came out, threw a kick, bounced off the ground. And I was like, what? Then he came out, threw another kick, bounced off the ground. I was thinking, the fuck is going on here? And he looked weird beforehand because Doge actually said it. He's a proper UFC fan and he'd know the ins and outs more and blah blah blah, and he's been watching it for years. So when he saw him first walking into the octagon, he thought, he doesn't look right. He looks like he's nervous or something like that. And I was kind of like, I don't know, man. He looks kind of fucking. Does he not look relaxed or something like that? Like too relaxed? But he did look odd. Whatever. Came out, fucking started kicking and bouncing off the ground. Whatever. So in my mind, the way I remember it was I said, man, he looks like he's drunk or something. And he was like, what? I said, he fucking keeps on bouncing off the ground. He's like, looks like he's drunk or fucking on something or whatever. No, he says that I said, he's fucking drunk, 100% he's drunk. But I just couldn't make sense of how he kept falling down because I didn't see what was after happening to his leg. For anyone who's fucking living underneath a yoke, he threw the first kick, which was the first action in the whole fight. Like Holloway didn't even do anything yet, and it was McGregor's first thing that he did. Threw a high kick, jumped and kicked actually, and then landed back down on his leg and twisted his knee and blew his ACL, whatever the fuck. I don't even know what that is, but I heard people saying it. So the fight was just over straight away, and he just got up and just walked out and left. Just walked out of the octagon, and that was it. Over and done with. Yeah, fucking mad thing to see with the build-up that was happening and whatever. And the weird thing about it is that I couldn't understand the way he kept falling and stuff like that. Is like that they did like all these tests on him before when he was at his peak or whatever, and they had him all hooked up to all these machines and everything, and they were kind of saying like, this fella is just elite. Like he's just born to be an athlete, and he's a phenomenon and fucking all of this. Like, and I was thinking like, how, like, I understand he hasn't been fighting for years and he's been kind of abusing his body and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, like, I thought like he's wired differently according to this thing that these tests that they did before. He's meant to be wired differently and fucking, you know, just like almost unhuman in some aspects, you know. And then he kept falling down. I was like, what the fuck is going on here? And I genuinely thought that he was after having some sort of a fucking breakdown or something, that he was after drinking or taking something backstage or whatever the fuck, you know. But yeah, it was fucking mad to see, lads. The colour, anyone who's watching on video, the absolute colour difference between my hands and my leg is immense. It's night and day. If you're not watching on video, click into the video for a second and I'll hold it here for you and you can have a look at it, yeah? Oh my word, we'll have a look. Of course we'll have a look. Now, so I have had a voice note from somebody, right? And I had a voice note from him in one of the earlier episodes. I tried to play it. It was the episode with Badger, actually. I started playing the voice note, and then, okay, what will I say? Okay, he said piss and shit, we'll just say, in his voice note, right? You can't say piss and shit in a podcast. So I was like, no, he's after saying piss and shit. Can't play that voice note. Cut it out of the episode, right? So then I mentioned it to him. I was like, well, man, I said, you said piss and shit in the thing. You need to send that voice note again, but don't say piss and shit. And he was like, yep, no bother at all. Send me back another voice note. And I, for some reason, I was like, nah, he kind of said piss and shit again, not playing that voice note. So I said, bud, I said, look, I do want to play your voice note, but I don't want to play that voice note. So do you want to send me another voice note? And he was like, yep, no bother. And he got back. So then I heard nothing, but then he got back to me after a while himself, and now I have to play his voice note. So I don't know what this voice note is about, so I'm not going to mention his name yet. For anybody who doesn't know, I have to manage my own social media, messages, all of that kind of stuff. Any questions I get in, I don't listen to them. I'll ask the person. If they send me a voice note, I'll say, is that for the podcast? They'll say, yeah, and I won't listen to it until I'm on the podcast so that I can react to it properly and it's not fucking staged or whatever the fuck, right? So I'm going to play the voice note for you, and then I'll decide if I'm going to say his name, but I don't know yet.
How are you, well, she, how are things? I'm just listening to the pod there, but
Welshie.
Tomato sauce, and when you open it and refrigerate it and all that kind of stuff, right? And your best before dates and the likes. Now, quick one. Back to my days in secondary school, right? You know, you'd all go down to the canteen at 11 o'clock, you all have your tea, and you know, a lot of lads be getting sausage rolls and stuff. So, inside in the canteen, big long tables, and it's kind of like big communal bottles of tomato sauce. So, you go in, you get your 3 sausage rolls, and you know, pass around a big bottle of sauce, grind it, and they'd refill it every so often, and it goes low. Fair enough. Now, the way issue with it was, there was one fella inside there who used to lick the top of the bottle of ketchup and thought nothing of it. Do you know what I mean? Go down the side of it and stuff. Do you know, it can be spit off the side, whatever.
What? He used to lick communal ketchup. What if someone else used to lick communal ketchup? Oh, God. And even just licking it anyway. Why would you do that? Oh, God. 1 minute.
Standard enough stuff. So anyway, my question is, from the time your man licks the top of the bottle of ketchup, how long do you have really before you use it, or before it goes out of date, or kind of best before, like, you know? What's your opinion like? Let me know what your listeners think. Soundbite.
So that's Christy Barry from Tipperary. Yeah, it wasn't a controversial message, so I could say his name. But yeah, so how long after your man licks the bottle of red sauce, how long after that are you able to use it again? To be honest, I wouldn't use it again. I would get one from a different table or whatever, be like, oh no. But then again, they're probably going to clean up and take it away and put it out. I'd mark it. That's what I'd do. I'd take my key out of my pocket or something. I'd mark the label, and I'd be like, not using that one anyway. I will fucking lick the sauce over in the corner. Not using that one. But like, would you not get slated for that in school? Oh God, why would you lick it? So, why would you lick it in the first place? And why would you lick it knowing that somebody else might have licked it before you? You might as well just go around and start meeting all the people in your school. Know what I mean? Like, well, man, how are you? Did you watch the match? Did you? Come here. Do you know what I mean? Fuck, no. Vom, rotten. Can't do that. I thought he was going to say, like, the communal ketchup, like, you don't know how long it's there or whatever the fuck. And I was thinking, like, this is a fairly obvious one. They just keep refilling it so it doesn't have a chance to get out of there because it's getting used so much and blah, blah, blah. But I didn't think it was going to go down that road. But like, well, if someone sucks the top of a bottle of red sauce, what do you do then? You fucking ring the guards. That's on camera. Hey, stop that now. The guards are to be rang. That you can't be. That's fucking no. You can't be doing that kind of stuff. That's weird, man. Tell him if you ever see him that I said that's weird, and then tell him I said to follow me on all socials at Walshunit and at Walshunit41 at TikTok. I have another message from somebody, right? He actually suggested a section that I can do. He suggested a section that I can do. Where a minute now? Where is he? This is my okay. And his name is, I don't know if I can say it, so I won't say it. So, oh, bollocks, how do I find this now? To go in here, I have to look for, oh wait, can I search in here? Can I search in here? This one? Is it him? You can play that. Didn't say much. Oh, yeah. So, I think his segment that he wanted me to do. Oh, wait, no. That's not. I don't know how much to use, but you can laugh if nothing else. Keep me anonymous on that one if you don't mind. If you do, put it out. So, can I play the voice note, bud, or no? I tried to listen. You can play that. I didn't say anything real bad and tried not to swear much at all. But he said, keep it anonymous. So, I will keep it anonymous. I hope I didn't say his name. But, yeah, so I'm going to play this voice note. He was on about something about, I think, getting stuck and having to make a piss in an area that is unconventional or whatever. I think that's what it was anyway. And I think, like, after your man fucking sucking the bottle of red sauce, then I think this is a good progression from that. Do you know what I mean? And a lot of people might have the episode turned off by now anyway. So This message is kind of long, so I'll see what the story is. I'll start playing it, and we'll see. Does it go anywhere? If it gets, we'll see. 1 minute. Here we go.
Well, bud, so when I was a chap, went for like a family day out to Glendalough. You know, whole family there, aunts and uncles and cousins and the works, and we had an old picnic and went for a walk in the forest. And we were getting to be about halfway through our walk, and I started needing to go to the toilet hard. And let it be known, and there's nothing you can do. We're out in the forest, and I wait till we get back to the centre. So I dug in, I waited, and started to get under serious pressure. You know, making our way back to the centre, and I was holding on. And started to get all sweaty and emotional and under savage pressure to hold on to this yoke. Started making deals then with God and the devil and my own arse that we'd make it. Sure, we made it back to the centre, and I made it to the toilet, and I rushed in, and so I came into the toilet, and it was only a chap, and not much I could do about it, but to get into one of the toilet cubicles, you had to put a 20p coin in to open the door. And sure, I hadn't the speed of a 20p coin, and there was no way I was getting into the toilet. And by this stage, I'd already struck a deal with my arse that this was going to happen, so the only logical thing I could think of to do was, sure, I dropped trow, and I left her in the urinal.
Drop trow. I've never heard that before. Is that a thing? Do people say drop trow?
And I didn't put much thought now into how I was going to take care of everything after that, but by the grace of God, there was hand towels there, little paper lads for drying your hands, so that took care of the clean-up, and sure, we were away. As I was walking out now, a man came in with his young fella and used the toilet, and sure, there was me after 11 a yoke sitting up in the urinal. Just put the head down, walked on out of there, and carried that secret on for about another 20 years. And sure, here we are.
Oh God, man! What oh, that's rotten. But I suppose you were only a young fella, so what the fuck can you do? Like, but I did. Oh God! I think what I would have done in that situation is I would have first of all, I wouldn't have cleaned it up. I'm sorry. I know it's disgusting. I know somebody else is going to have to deal with it. He got caught in a bad situation and had to do what he had to do. But me, personally, as a young fella, I wouldn't have cleaned it up. I wouldn't have been able to clean it up. I wouldn't have had the stomach for it. I wouldn't have been able to deal with it if anybody came in and I was scooping shit out of a urinal. No, sorry, couldn't do it, right? What I would have done is I would have waited for... I wouldn't have waited. I would have just left as soon as I was cleaned up or whatever the fuck, right? And then if I saw people walking in, I would have stopped those people. I would have said, hi, some dirty bastards after shitting in the urinal. I wouldn't even go in there if I was you. They'd be like, what? And you'd be like, yeah. And then just go. And then you're out. You didn't do it then. Do you know what I mean? You're fully out of the running. Do you know what I mean? There's nothing at all got to do with you, like. So I would have just took myself out of the situation. Do you know, like when you're younger and you do something stupid, you run from the guards, and then when you get up around the corner, you turn around and walk back towards the guards and start looking around. That's kind of like the same thing. Like one time, I was in town, and don't condone this behaviour whatsoever. Not at all. But as I said to you, I grew up around everything happening in the area that I grew up and in the city that I grew up. So I was with a fella that I went to school with, bit of a mad cunt, into everything and anything, and there was a fella talking on the phone, a little flip phone, when the flip phones first kind of came out, and we were just walking along after finishing school or whatever it was, and he decided to fucking snatch this phone after a man, and I was thinking, oh my fucking God, like I would never do something like that, and I'd never condone it, and don't be thinking for a second that I am, right? But this is the type of shit that I had to fucking deal with growing up, because that's the type of people that were around. That's the type of people I was hanging around with. They were into everything and anything. I wasn't. Don't know how, but I stayed out of it. Only thing I could do was take off fucking running as well. We were down by Chippy Chicken, we'll say, in the laneway across from Burger King. That's where it happened. So he took off sprinting one way with the phone, and I took off sprinting another way, because I thought, I'm not going with him. This has nothing got to do with me. Took off sprinting. I was only fucking 14 or 15 or something at the time. Took off sprinting as hard as I could, and I was never the most fucking athletic. I never played any sports or anything like that. So I got as far as Donkey Ford's and ran into Donkey Ford's as quick as I could, bought a can of Coke, and just waited a second and just walked out of there and just calmly started walking around with my can of Coke, because I thought, if anyone sees me now, then they're going to think that I had nothing to... I did have nothing to do with it. I just happened to be there. And I just took myself out of the situation. I thought, right, I'm not running. Didn't do anything wrong. I'm guilty by association, I suppose. But I'm going to get a can of Coke and walk calmly. Then I look innocent, because I am fucking innocent. And I just happened to be in that situation. So, long story short, that's what I would do in that shit situation, is just take myself out of it, and I'd acknowledge it, even though you would have been guilty by not association, you would have been guilty by shitting in the urinal, but I'd remove myself from it by making it look like it was somebody else, and then like, oh, some dirty bastards, I wouldn't even go in there. And then the person is like, oh, what a nice young man, he would never shit in the urinal. Do you get me? So that's what you should have done, bud. Yeah. So this is the type of thing. Any messages, any stories, anything like that, I'll keep you anonymous. Send me a voice note, send me a text, anything like that. I'll keep you anonymous if you want to be kept anonymous, or if you don't, then I'll mention your name. So yeah, just get to me at get at me at all the things. Did I mention the meta glasses a while ago? I did, didn't I? Yeah. So I'm going to start making more stuff with them, and I'm going to get a GoPro maybe, and I'm going to get proper microphones and stuff, and there is more stuff coming. There's definitely more stuff coming. There's going to be comedy at some time of the year as well, 100%, because I've been saying it for too long, I've been thinking about it for too long, and I just need to fucking do it. So as well as that, it's probably very late in the episode to be mentioning this, but as well as that, I think I'm going to go ahead with the Patreon thing and set up a Patreon for anybody who wants to support the podcast, and for anybody who wants extra stuff, basically. So there'll be bonus content on the Patreon, and I'm going to try, like, if there's any events coming up, I won't say too much, but there could be stuff coming up. There's nothing set in stone yet, but there could be some stuff coming up. And what a Patreon that I'm signed up to, what they do is they give their Patreon members early access to stuff, and first priority on things, merch and fucking ticket sales and fucking all that stuff. Now, they're obviously different than me, but I'd like to try to do something like that with it, to give back to the people that want to help. Now, don't get me wrong, this is always going to remain free. There's always going to be this episode every week. But just on Patreon, there might be a little bit of extra content and bonus stuff. And there'll be a Patreon-only group chat in the Patreon app. So anybody who is a member of Patreon can write into this group chat, and I can write into this group chat, and we can all engage and talk about whatever topics of stuff that I can bring up on the podcast. And yeah, that's the plan. I just need to figure it out a little bit more. I actually made a video the other day, kind of advertising, or not advertising, it was like an introduction into Patreon, but I was just trying to do it, and it didn't go well, so I need to do it again. But that is coming, so stay tuned for that, and follow me on all the things, Walshunit, on Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, YouTube, all of that, and Walshunit41 on TikTok. A lot more content coming. I have the meta glasses. There's going to be a lot of more POV content coming. Yeah, if anyone has any ideas or anything you'd like me to do, or any avenue you'd like me to travel down, just let me know. Put it in the comments or send me a message. And send this podcast to people. Tell people to listen. It would mean a lot. And if you're in shops, put it on the telly and put it on the phones, and just anywhere you can. If you're in your friend's house and you're waiting for them, put it on their telly. So it's going to be in their search history, and it's going to get me another view as well. So, yeah, put it on, just leave it on. And even if you're leaving the house, if you go in, like, oh, is Mary there? Yeah, she's in bed. Oh, yeah, no bother at all. Can I go in and use your telly there for a second? They're like, yeah, go. The telly? I thought I want to use the toilet. No, the telly. And just go and put on my podcast and go, yeah, all right, go on. I'll see you later. And then she'll be like, oh, I'll get Mary to ring you there when she's up. And then you go, go and fuck off. And then just walk out. You get me? So if you could do that for me, that would mean a lot to me. Keep on liking and commenting and all of that kind of jazz. And make sure, lads, if you're on Spotify, that you follow my Spotify. Subscribe to my YouTube and turn on the bell and hype my videos on YouTube as well. That's a new kind of thing where you can hype the videos up. If it's not new, then I only know about it. Also on Spotify, I know I'm jumping back and forth. Will you give me a 5-star rating on Spotify if you can? Rate this podcast and 5 stars. Yeah, and it would really mean a lot. So I'm not going to forget this time, lads. But what I want you to do, everybody, is have a good. And I will talk to you next week. What am I doing? Oh, this one. No, not that one. This one? No. This one.
The unit, the unit, the unit.